have improved their health and well-being by its rich ingredients. A unique blend of essential amino acids, multivitamins, and minerals specially formulated to combat stress and fatigue. The golden promise of Astamine is being enjoyed by more and more people who have found the deepest secret of living life at its peak. Astamine. Get healthier.
Welcome back. Now I'm being joined by Abayomi Adebanjo. There are similarities here, Yomi, Joe, whatever. Right, he's the company secretary of Fidson Healthcare PLC. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Babolujo. Quite a long time.
Very long time.
Yeah.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
I've just looked at market performances for the month of August and for the first 8th month of the year 2018. In both ways, Fidson played prominently among gainers. If I ask you what's the secret behind this price performance, can you tell us?
Behind any change in prices of any company, 3 things are key. And in those 3 areas, we play quite well. We'll be talking about the fundamentals. The fundamentals around the company have been so strong that the investors cannot but look in that direction, what is happening in this company. And when I say fundamentals, I mean those things that when an investor hears of, he will ask himself, shouldn't I pick up some of these shares? Those fundamentals, as it fits in, are quite interesting. You look at the board, you find technocrats there. You find people with high integrity, people you can afford to give your money to and go and sleep. That is one fundamental thing that is behind Fidson. Another thing behind Fidson is this constant retooling. Like you take your car to a mechanic oftentimes. What do you want out of it? You want it to
best of performance.
Best of performance. At Fidson, one of the things we do constantly is to stop suddenly and say, let us look at ourselves. How is this company running? Are we doing the best at this time? If a company constantly does that, what the company is trying to tell the public is, we are not sleeping. In fact, at every moment, at every point in time, we are thinking of what is the best for us to do now. And those things, we quickly deploy facilities, resources, anything needed to make sure we function at our best. Still part of the fundamental that goes for us is the quality of our brands. We have products that people choose first before the other. And don't forget, we are a company that is into products. Even if we have edifice that is 10-story high and your products are not selling, that's a problem. This half year end, our performance is over 7 billion. Last year we ended at 14 billion. That tells you we have a trend, and that trend is constantly going up. Marketers, stockbrokers don't look at another thing but fundamentals. What is your trend? It is constantly going up. So that is a fundamental too that goes for us when it comes to share pricing. The second I will also talk about is, however good these fundamentals are, if your investor relations is poor, it remains poor. It can affect your share prices. From the MD to the lowest person, we inculcate that philosophy of your customers are your king. Your investors, not only the people that, your bankers, your shareholders, these are the investors in the company. Your distributors, these are your investors. We hold them like eggs. And what we get in return is their confidence. And that confidence also reflects in how the capital market places us. So what we are seeing in our share price moving up is a function of all of this. And lastly, as part of what you see in our share price is good corporate governance. And we are proud each year to publish it in our financials. that at Fidson, things that are verifiable, that you can come as an auditor and audit us for, are the things we put in our account. Our governance is so robust. Is it transparency? Everybody at Fidson can pick the account and tell you how this figure came about. Because see, we are so transparent as to say our turnover is 14 billion, and this is how it is so. Our net asset is X, this is how it is so. It's verifiable. And that is not in the confine of management or executive. It's for everybody who work with Fidson. So for all of this, I think what we get in return is a kind of share appreciation. And we still believe we are not there yet. What you see of our share price today at 6 naira 15 kobo is not the appropriate place I think we should be.
Where do you want?
I think, you see, accountingly, quote unquote, if you want to do it as a matter of geometric calculation, and you say your net asset is above 16 billion, let's say, and the number of shares in issue is just 1.5 billion, simple arithmetic will tell you that price.
So you look at the book value.
If you look at the book value, you will say that share price is way below what it should be. But we are getting there. One thing I know at Fidson is we won't go below what we are now in a very distant future, you know.
Let me ask you this question. Yes. I know that your annual general meeting is sometimes in, am I correct, around
25th of September.
Of September.
Yes.
You are the one to organize the annual general meeting. You are the one to produce the annual reports and accounts. What should your shareholders be expecting?
They should expect the warm reception they've always had from us. They should expect a dividend, if they agree with us, that is 4 times what they had last year. It's no longer a trade secret. It has been released to the stock exchange. So they should expect such, and we are going to pay as promptly as we have always paid them. So they should expect the ambience that we always have given them. Other good things. They've always been there with us. And we expect them this time also to support us, as they have always done. You see, our AGM is a family affair. You know, we treat our shareholders as our family. Up to the MD, they walk in freely. So what else can a shareholder expect from a company?
Right. Let me ask you this question. You are not necessarily a finance person, but again, as the company secretary, I put it to you. I know that the major issue working or militating against the growth of pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria is the influx of fake goods. And when these fake products, fake drugs get to the market, the prices become extremely cheap. I was a victim. I bought one particular product I would not want to mention. And as soon as the drug touched the tongue of my daughter, a light-skinned baby, she became black instantly. I took the drug to the pharmacy where I bought it. I was not even looking for a refund, and I wouldn't want to say what happened subsequently. But to God be the glory, the girl is alive. So how is Fidson coping with such challenge, which is major in the industry?
Around 2010, there was a particular line of drug that lent itself so much to faking, and that is ciprofloxacin. Right. The one used to combat, it's an antibiotic. We are the first company in this sub-Saharan Africa to present that drug in what we call softlet. We robe it to prevent faking. So that drug from that moment got saved from faking.
So there are things you could actually
There are
do.
things, I'm coming, Mr. Babalujo. When you say products are being faked, I bet you some of these products, you cannot trace them to some of our brands, to similar brands that we have. Because it's difficult. Our production and our partners in all of these things are such that even to fake it, I'm not saying faking is not rampant, but it is not as rampant in others. We are a little bit insulated from it. And the reason is because of our production and manufacturing facility and the partners we have in all of these processes.
So in other words,
Yeah.
if I get to the pharmacy and I go to get a drug with Fidson inscription, I'm sure that the product is as authentic as if I've gone to the factory to get it.
Exactly. You see, you have mentioned at the beginning, why this share price increase and stability? It's the quality. Not just quality in the management, but quality in your product, in what you do. You see, what goes around comes around. The perception people have of you extends to your product and vice versa. So I can always say up to 90% of chances we are insulated from faking. Yes. But the industry is such that the porosity that has been allowed even by government makes faking a little bit of a business for money launderers. You know, I look forward to seeing that day when it will be most difficult for anybody to take drugs through the airports. Because aside from importing them in cargoes, in containers, people also come into these countries in portfolios loaded with drugs. And these are the areas government should beam the searchlight. Drugs are so essential and so delicate in our bodies that the route of them into the system should be so that it's well controlled. It shouldn't be so porous and all commerce affair the way it is today. A little bit of control is needed to save the population from those who just want to make their money, not minding the effect on the economy, on the masses.
All right. I also know that it's a credit business. So I'm in the newspaper business, for example. You produce, you give it to vendors, and then how is Fidson coping with such huge financial burden? And yet you are still declaring profit.
It is typical of pharmaceutical business and other customer-based enterprises. You have to generate some level of credit. It is normal. The question is, what machinery have we put in place to minimize it? And that is one thing I think one can talk more about. There are machineries in place. You can't control it. I mean, you can't eradicate it. You only have to control it to be minimal as much as possible so that the investors' profits are not eroded by way of write-off. So we have in place a robust credit policy that enables us watch past dues to prevent them from becoming bad debts. So as long as we can assure our investors that your monies won't go into bad debts, your management is thinking, your management has a robust plan in place for credit control. Up to board level, we have a control mechanism put in place, monitored even by the board, to ensure your credits are secured. They don't suddenly go into bad debt to be written off. Because each time you write off bad debts, you are affecting your investors. And if I have told you that our investor relation is key to us, these small things we look at, preventing erosion of our investors' profits is key to us.
Yes. I appreciate your being here with me today.
I thank you.
But before I allow you go, whenever I have the opportunity of speaking with a representative of a quoted company, because again, the essence of this platform is to create an interface between managers of quoted companies and also investors and potential investors.
Okay.
Now, I do ask them this question at any point in time. There are three things that investors in stocks will want to do. It is either that they are selling a particular stock or they are buying a particular stock. Sometimes they might need to just hold on to their current position. They might need to buy more. All right? So, you are in Fidson. You are an insider in the organization with what you see every day, with what you know about Fidson. Will you be bold enough to say, Abayomi, buy and buy more? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
It's in capital yes.
Capital yes.
Capital.
Why will you be such bold?
I know, first and foremost, you are an enlightened investor. And you have basis for investing in any company. But those bases will include the future of that company.
Yep.
The basis will include the soundness of judgment of the management. That decision will also be based paramountly on the financials. These three things speak for itself. As some of my colleagues would say, res ipsa loquitur. The fact speaks for itself.
All right. Le what?
Res ipsa loquitur.
It's like you are speaking in tongues.
That the fact, all the facts I've given you, they all speak for themselves. When you pick our financials, you just can't help it. Oh, it is strong, it is there. There are no rumors around Fidson. Some companies have rumors around them that will affect an investor, that will make an investor think twice. Such things don't happen around Fidson. What you see is what you get. So transparent, so open.
Let us leave it at that with the hope that very shortly, maybe in no distant time, we'll have the opportunity of calling you, and you will definitely
be my
here
pleasure.
again, maybe after the annual general meeting.
It will be my pleasure.
Or maybe when the third quarter result is released.
It will be my
Thank
pleasure.
you so much.
Thank you.
My
you,
namesake.
John.
Right.
Thank you very much.
So, on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange,